the game is clear. He's a champ when all else disappears. Rally the team with a wink and a cheer. He's the leader that everyone fears. Quickly, it's a real heater. Once my friend, he's a locker room leader. In the chaos, he's the center, turning us into believers.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is 7 a.m. on Monday, October 13th, and we are coming to you, yes, quite early today. That is because Raw and the Raw Patrol will be taking to the air at 8 a.m. for the Raw following Crown Jewel from the RAC Centre in Perth, Australia. So this is a very, very early morning for everybody here involved. I am OM Dynamic, your host for the evening. I am joined alongside the host of the Chris Parrish podcast, friend of the show, Mr. Chris Parrish. How we doing, my friend?
Oh, tired, but I'm here to go. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. It's great to have you here. I know I have to really get on the road here in a little while after the show, so I got to bring my son back home.
Yeah, I got water. Gonna drink water during Raw. What is going on?
Right.
Not used to water.
Right? No. We are coming off what was a heck of a show on Saturday at Crown Jewel.
Yes. What? I mean, I think this was a card a lot of people wanted WrestlePalooza to be, but nonetheless, they got it in Crown Jewel. AJ Styles and John Cena was just a beautiful swan song to the business. But I honestly thought Tiffany Stratton and Stephanie Vaquer stole the show. I thought that match was fantastic, despite the psychology lessons that Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes and John Cena and AJ Styles and Roman Reigns gave us. I thought the pure technical match that we saw in the ring with Stephanie and Tiffany was just fantastic.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think there was really a bad match, including like the street fight really wasn't horrible. And I mean, yes, you had the Vision interfere, you had Braun Breaker interfere. Of course, you had the Usos interfere, but the stories coming out of that was just amazing.
Yeah, it was. I mean, when you saw kind of the aftermath of the Roman Reigns Bronson Reed match, and you saw kind of like the aftermath with Roman and the Usos, and Roman walking out, and then Jay saying he always does him. I'm like, so I'm out too. And then Jimmy, who has been the guy saying, you're acting a lot like him. Jay did exactly what Roman just did. He walks out on who was in the ring, his family. And for someone who's saying he always does him, well, now Jey Uso, you're doing him as in you. And now you kind of wonder, what does Jimmy do? Like, what does Jimmy do? Like, does he still try to keep them together, or does he do what the other two did and worry about him?
Right? There's so many questions left to be answered as we approach Saturday night's main event on November 1st, and then, of course, Survivor Series War Games at the end of November.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute war zone from here till then, so I can't wait.
Oh, yes. But let's get right into it, and let's go back to last week. We did have Roman Reigns open Raw. And he didn't get a lot out before he was interrupted by Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed. But it was his comment at the end of that saying, they come out here with all this confidence, and they leave like a couple of witches, which really triggered a beatdown.
Yeah. I mean, it's exactly what you want to do. This is Mind Games 101, right? This is nothing we haven't seen before, but it's also something to really amp up as you're going into the big match. So, I mean, I'm not surprised Roman Reigns kind of went there, but you can't fault Bronson Reed for matching the insult with the reaction. So, I mean, it's classic bait, and Bronson Reed took it 101.
Absolutely, he did. Now, this was actually the segment that made this match official for Crown Jewel as well. And to be honest, it left me wanting more from this. And I don't mind if this is a long-term feud. Like, I would be okay if we get one more match out of this.
Yeah, I agree, especially when we know that the series is tied at one apiece. Roman Reigns got that earlier one at SummerSlam, I believe, when he got the Shula Fala back. But now Bronson Reed gets his win just on Saturday. So they're tied 1-1. I would assume that this is going to be dealt with by the year's end. And then I would assume we go into the Braun Breaker versus Roman Reigns storyline, which has just been teasing us like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, absolutely, it has. And I can't wait. But it was Clash in Paris where Roman got the win and got the Shula Fala
Yes,
back.
Clash in Paris. My apologies.
No worries.
It's early.
It is. I know. It's what, 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. for you?
Yes, it's just early.
Yes. Our opening match last week really probably caught a lot of people off guard. Maxine Dupri and Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I said last week that Maxine Dupri has shown the same level of growth that Liv Morgan had in terms of how far she's come in the past year. And did she ever step up in this match?
Okay, that's I know on Friday when we were doing the security detail, we talked about the comparisons between Maxine and BFAB, and just how their growth is rapidly growing. But nonetheless, you're absolutely right talking about Maxine Dupri and the growth. It's been noted that she's been going and training with Natalya for a while. In fact, they're trying to form a tag team called the Dungeon Dolls. And we're trying to see a lot more in ring from Maxine. We've seen her and Becky Lynch once before, but this is a different Becky Lynch. This is a completely refocused Becky Lynch, and she's not just the Intercontinental Champion, but she has a chip on her shoulder as well, as she's coming from a submission loss from the hands of AJ Lee. So you're really getting a focused Intercontinental Champion here, and you're taking that and you're really disrupting Becky when Maxine does what she was doing. And she really took a fight to Becky Lynch that I don't think Becky Lynch expected. I thought she probably thought it was a walk in the park. And let's face it, you walk to the park and didn't know there was a jungle gym and somebody wanted to play on the monkey bars, and that name was Maxine Dupri.
Right? We saw Maxine using counters and holds we never thought we would see her use, including the ankle lock. And we were really reminded a lot of the old Alpha Academy before they became the Alpha Babes and whatever incarnation they are now.
Yeah, American Alpha.
And I'm wondering, because I know we don't see Natty a whole lot on our televisions, if they're trying to form this team, would that be a team that you would want to put up against Alexa Bliss and Charlotte?
I definitely think it's one you can. But I'll even go one kind of maybe different. It's one that I wouldn't even hate if, say, Maxine and Natalya do in fact at one point hit the tag title stage and they become that. I wouldn't mind them making an appearance in NXT and maybe having an altercation with the Knockout Tag Team Champions and the Inspiration. I think that would be very fun to watch, especially when you see Peyton Royce, who's always she's very much like a Natalya in the way where she is a born and bred wrestler. And then Billie Kay is more of a Maxine, but evolved version. She is almost what you want to see what Maxine will be in a few years. And I know she goes by a different name, not Billie Kay, but I mean, I'm
right.
Cassie Lee and whatever, but but I mean, yes, I think right now with the women's tag team division, I think any and every team is welcome, because I think you just have to get it going again. It always has a stop and start with this tag title situation, and I really think it just needs true momentum.
Right. Now, we saw this match, and Maxine did pick up the win via a countout. Do we get that rematch somewhere down the road where that rule is waived, where if Becky loses by countout, she's going to lose the title, or it's got to be a no holds barred type of deal?
I think it was a way to get Maxine into the win column. I don't know if we're going to get much more in terms of like a huge gimmick, because I do think the big picture is going to lead Becky Lynch to AJ Lee for the Intercontinental Championship, as AJ Lee did have a definitive finish on Becky Lynch. But a win is still a win against a champion. And at the very least, this is noteworthy of an Intercontinental Championship match. And if maybe the plan is to slow build AJ Lee and Becky Lynch, well, then you can play that through Survivor Series. And then maybe on that November Saturday night's main event, an Intercontinental title shot between Maxine Dupri and Becky Lynch. It's a stage that's a little bit larger. You got the nostalgic name in Saturday night's main event. And now maybe this is a stage where you are now seeing Maxine Dupri in a different light than you would on Monday Night Raw.
Right. One of the other things that I have read, and this is probably just the IWC putting too much into this, but it was the same official from WrestlePalooza that reffed last week's Intercontinental Championship match. And there's a potential rivalry brewing between Becky and referee Jessica Carr.
Okay, so it's very much a lot with like Earl Hebner and Triple H then, even though they're going to focus a little bit more into that build, which wouldn't, you know what? I'm intrigued, but I hope it's not at the expense of somebody else.
Right.
And I think right now Maxine is not in a position to have or to be somebody's expense. I think right now we need to see that clear evolution and that pure growth from her. And anything else is just a hiccup that might actually be more of a step back than it is a step forward.
Okay. On to the next thing. We did see then in a backstage promo, Asuka with Adam Pearce demanding a match with Kairi Sane and Io Sky, which we got later on in the evening. Kairi not really wanting to go through with the match, but getting smacked in the face by Asuka.
Tough love. I mean, that's what I saw. Tough love. And let's face it, Kairi Sane was as much as part of the beatdown as Asuka was when they turned on Io Sky. So because of that, you have to face the action. And yes, she might be very much more brokenhearted with the breakup and the split, but nonetheless, you're just as part of it as everybody else. So this could be a way for Kairi Sane to gain the sympathy of the crowd, only to garner more heat when she eventually does become that true villain. But it could also be a way to lure Io Sky in emotionally, so she doesn't bring out her best, because if anybody knows how good Io Sky is, it's Asuka. And let's also just appreciate that the version of Asuka we have right now is really good.
Yes.
Really good.
It is. And I've never been an Asuka fan.
I've always been one. So I'm happy we're getting more old school Asuka back.
But to sit there and watch, and I mean, I know we've seen bits and pieces of this iteration of Asuka before, but to now really see where she has come to and what she has brought this character to, I am really intrigued. Next up, the match that I thought should have blown the roof off the place, and it was a good, solid match between two of our youngest and brightest women's competitors, Lyra Valkyria and Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with this match. I think the expectation versus reality aspect really came in, because I think the expectation was higher than what the reality was. But I think too, the one thing that is different in this reality is that there is a story going on with Bailey and with Raquel Rodriguez, and it's looking to be a potential tag match and building towards a big tag match. Can Lyra trust what Bailey is? Is Bailey even trusting Lyra, or is she using Lyra? We don't even know all that answers. There's so much gray still left untold, and it's very odd that it's clouding what was a decent match and what could be that amazing main event style match that these two women can have. But I think this is exactly what Lyra Valkyria needs to really become more of a superstar on Raw. We've seen the rise of Stephanie back here in the past just 6 months since she's really been on. Lyra needs the story route to kind of get there, and I'm very happy that this is where we're going with her, because anytime we get more in-ring / backstage Lyra, I think we're going to see a better Lyra in just a few years.
Absolutely. I am with you there. Like I said, after she lost the title, it was maybe time to put that rocket ship on her and put her into that world title picture. Now, you mentioned Bailey, and I was expecting the match to have the shenanigans and then Bailey come out and make the save, but we did have Bailey come to ringside with Lyra.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the match ended, which did have Roxanne winning with the Pop Rocks, but they did proceed to beat down on Lyra, and Bailey got in there, of course, made the save, lifted Lyra up, and then said, "We've got unfinished business." Even in this pseudo-psycho stage where she doesn't really know who she is at this point.
Yeah, it's the two minds, right? It's almost like Bailey has her devil on one shoulder, her angel on the other. And right now, I think the devil on one shoulder is telling her, look, you tried to be the nice person and it backfired, and now somebody's mad at you for having their back, essentially. And then you have the angel on your other shoulder saying, look, you did the right thing. It just didn't work out. You have to be patient. You did something terrible to a friend, but you can still make it up to her. There's still hope for that friendship. So you're definitely seeing the real life tornness between those two characters, and I think they're both getting inside the head of Bailey, and it's really fun to watch this new kind of resurrection of the Bailey character, but then also seeing how it transforms Lyra Valkyria, how it goes against people like Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, because in every sense of the book, they should just stay away from this and let the TNT bomb explode.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And we will discuss that, because we are going to see that. We'll discuss that in the preview section of for the Raw Patrol here coming up in just a little while. Up next, we had a CM Punk promo that was interrupted on a whole lot of levels.
Yeah, and interrupted first was the man that everybody says, L.A. Knight. And this was fantastic. In fact, this might have been one of CM Punk's best burns on a live promo, when LA Knight is talking about the never, ever, ever, never thing. And then CM Punk just instantly responds back by saying the same thing, but as a jab to LA Knight, to where he himself had to stop and react and give a nod of the head to CM Punk for the quick wit. But I mean, it really showcases just how much filler the world title scene actually has. It's a lot more than just what we have with Seth Rollins and everybody chasing. It's more detailed than that. It's CM Punk who has this historic rivalry with Seth Rollins. It's LA Knight, who still wants his redemption match with Seth Rollins, who, quote unquote, got injured. But then you also have main event Jey Uso, who also made his way in. And he wants that title shot back that he never got with Gunther. And then we even talked about who we didn't see, but when Gunther does come back, does he now get involved? So it was a very convoluted segment, but one that made all the sense in the world, because it just shows you how important that World Heavyweight Championship and getting to Seth Rollins really is for everyone a part of the show.
CM Punk got in another good shot, though, on Jey Uso about his character, saying, I love Jey Uso. I don't like Little Roman.
Yeah. And yeah, once again, like, you now bring Roman into this. You now look up how Crown Jewel played out and how Jay might do him, Roman might do him, and then we got Jey Uso who's coming out, and also like it's convoluted in the best way, because Adam Pearce says he likes his chaos. We'll look no further than the World Heavyweight Championship picture.
Absolutely. We did see Jimmy Uso try and break up a scrap between Punk and Jay, blocking the super kick from his brother, only for Punk to throw him out of the way and clock Jay, only to then eat the super kick from Jimmy and set up a tag team match for our main event of the night.
Yeah. And it was a great little how's she going, I guess, the hockey term, I guess, coming out, but a great way of setting that up, but also a great way of saying, look, 4 of you got business, well, 4 of you can fight, and that's exactly what we got. It was straight to the point, and who doesn't like it,
right? It did end up becoming a fantastic match. Now, we did then see AJ Styles and Dragon Lee attempting to recruit a 6th man to take on the Judgment Day. So they did get the services of Penta for that match. And so we did wind up with Dragon Lee, AJ Styles, and Penta versus the Judgment Day a little bit later on in the evening. But we had one more all killer, no filler women's match in Io Sky and Kairi Sane in the match that probably stole the show for the evening.
Yeah, just to highlight, if anybody has lived under a Dwayne Johnson, Io Sky and Kairi Sane can go, and they showed that absolutely on full tilt on Monday, and it was fantastic. And what I love even more is that we didn't even get a winner, because just like the first Io Stephanie Bakir match on Raw, we didn't need one. We needed to be teased on just how good this can be, because it just shows you how good a feud between those two can be, especially when you add in an Asuka and a Rhea Ripley. And I think that was absolutely done perfectly. It made us, it left us wanting more, exactly the way it should have been, especially when the 4 of them are going into Perth, Australia at Crown Jewel for that tag match.
Yes. We did actually get a winner due to some interference, as Kairi Sane did pin Io. So we got that momentum on the side of the Kabuki Warriors going into Crown Jewel this past Saturday night.
Yeah, but not a definitive, not like a who's better in the ring,
right.
The way that you know they won. And it's a sour taste in the mouth. It's a cheap victory, but yeah, I mean, you are right.
Yeah. Like these two, instant classic. They delivered the match of the night, in my opinion. And I mean, you wouldn't expect anything less from these two. This was a masterclass in Japanese strong style, really, for the women. And I absolutely loved it. Io did take a beat down as well after the match, with Rhea Ripley, of course, over in Australia already handling media obligations for the WWE, and she was unable to be there to back up Io.
Yeah, and I thought this was absolutely done perfectly because it gave you the heat that the Kabuki Warriors needed. It just showed you how dangerous they can be when they have the numbers advantage. And then also to really put a number on EO going into that tag match. So it was a very calculated move by the Kabuki Warriors, and it just shows you how dangerous Asuka is when she's laser focused on something. And then just that hired assassin in Kairi Sane, whether she emotionally wants to or not, she has the eyes on the prize. She went full tilt in this matchup. She went full tilt at Crown Jewel. So I don't think there is a worry with with Kairi Sane as Asuka is concerned. But man, together they are a force, and this could be the team that does take the tag titles away from Charlotte and Alexa Bliss.
Okay, because that's exactly where I was going to go, because I know I have said we need to get Io and Rhea away from that women's championship picture for now. Is that going to be the direction to go? I think so. And now you've got the Kabuki Warriors who can provide fodder really at every point for that until we get a triple threat match, or the Kabuki Warriors are challenging, or
I'll go up there. I'll go Fatal 4-Way because on SmackDown we're seeing Sol, Ruka, and Zarya contest for those tag titles. I say let's just put them all in a ring, and whoever comes out comes out.
Okay, I like it. I love it. Actually.
Straight to the point. It's early, by the way.
Yes. Very, very interesting segment in the locker room next, as Seth Rollins is, of course, listening to Becky ramble on about what happened in the match. And I mean, I couldn't really understand Becky. But then Seth asks Paul Heyman, what if I don't beat Cody Rhodes? What happens then? And Heyman tells him, it leaves Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed questioning your vision. It leaves me questioning why I did what I did at WrestleMania to join you. Some very harsh truths there from Paul Heyman for Seth.
Well, I mean, the phrase "the truth hurts" is for a reason. But let's go back. Like a good husband, though, doesn't interrupt his wife when venting. So smart veteran move, by the way, from Seth Rollins. But I mean, yeah, it's clear that this is a mental test for Seth Rollins, getting over the Cody Rhodes hurdle, because he is 3-0 since coming back against Seth Rollins. In fact, he beat him with a torn pec inside Hell in a Cell. That has to take a number on the mental. But asking the flat out question, well, what happens if I lose? And then reinforcing it when Paul Heyman wants to make it light about how serious it was, because now he knows how serious Seth was. So he replies, you lose everything. You lose Braun, you lose Bronson, and you make me question why I picked you over Roman. Words that I think Seth Rollins needed to hear, because it refocuses the bigger picture and refocuses that Seth Rollins has to do what's right for the future, not just what's right for Seth Rollins. And the vision might not always be you. It might be a bigger picture of the group. So this was a time where Seth Rollins had to put his personal want to the side for the better part of the vision, and that is his path to the future of the business. So very positive and very heavy stuff, but it was also the moment I knew Seth Rollins was walking out of Crown Jewel as the winner, because I did not see this group disbanding or anything like that. So I take some good and I take some bad out of it.
Yeah, I didn't see the vision disbanding this quickly, although, I mean, we've already been hearing about it. Are they set for a split? Is so-and-so, you know what? Like, it's been around for 6 months. Let's give it some time to really gel and then let the cracks form.
Yeah, I agree.
Next up, we had that Again, a masterclass of a 6-man tag, the Judgment Day versus AJ Styles, Dragon Lee, and Penta. A match in which we saw Dom try and run away as Rusev came and interfered, really leaving his boys on their own.
Yeah. And what I love is just how much chicken tendies Dom likes, but how much of a chicken you know what he portrays. Clearly, you are what you eat, and that is a chicken for Dominic Mysterio, but one who still walks away Intercontinental Champion, a championship that everybody is chasing him for, and the only way to escape a chase is to run quicker. So, I mean, maybe he's not a chicken, maybe he's just smart, but nonetheless, that doesn't mean he's a great stablemate because, like you said, he threw Finn and JD under the bus, figuratively and literally. So this is why Dominic Mysterio is always in the trusted doghouse with his other stablemates.
Yes, yes. And we will again discuss Dom on the preview portion of the show because we know he does have a match coming up here in a little while this morning on Raw.
Yeah.
But yes, we did see, of course, Styles, Penta, and Dragon Lee defeat the Judgment Day, but it was again because of Rusev chasing Dom away. I'm trying to think of really a comparison for Dom, and really, I mean, the only true comparison I can really think of is Eddie.
To an extent, yes. It's I don't know. See, like this is a question that I always I'm never a fan of because like yeah, it's always you want to find that comparison, but I'm always curious to see how a Dominic Mysterio does a Dominic Mysterio, and then in 5 years from now we see somebody like a Dominic Mysterio come in and think he reminds me of Dominic, and then you forget what Dominic reminded you of because now he is the focus of that nostalgia thought. So it's very there's a lot of people that you can really put him in a class of. Eddie is definitely one. A lot of his in-ring is definitely Eddie inspired, as we could tell. A lot of his embracing of the Latina culture into his gimmick is definitely Eddie inspired. But I think he's more slimy in terms of a heel in the sense that it's more of an obvious slimy, whereas Eddie was more cunning with it.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, if you're looking at and I don't really want to go, but a current comparison would be wrestling in another company, and his name is MJF.
I'll say there's a lot of comparisons with Dom and Logan Paul too.
Okay. I like it.
Like he makes it easy to hate you.
Yeah. Now, there is a big report coming out that, of course, come the end of November at Survivor Series, Dom is one of the final 4 matches, and Dom will be defending that Intercontinental Championship in San Diego against John Cena.
And I hope that happens.
You and me both. And then our main event last week, CM Punk and LA Knight versus the Usos. Knight, of course, tagging in after Punk did all the heavy lifting to pick up the pinfall.
Yeah. LA Knight flat out said, don't make a mistake. And he was focused on getting the win. He didn't care how, he didn't care why. He just wanted the win. Now, was he going to like cheat and kick people in the Union Underground? No. But what he did was make sure that they stayed focused on the task at hand and getting in the mental state of CM Punk by doing so. Just like maybe CM Punk got a little bit in the head of LA Knight in their earlier segment. So LA Knight returning the favor to his partner CM Punk. It's funny how much these two banter, but when it comes down to it, they work really good as a team, and they have quite a good track record when working together in matches.
They really do. And I mean, this has sort of been that ongoing debate because, and I know I've said I've seen LA Knight turning. Obviously, we're seeing the potential Jey Uso heel turn. Do we see that triple threat coming back out of this to see who is going to get that number one contender spot? And I'm going to say potentially for Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that because it gives Seth Rollins a night off. I mean, he did have the crown jewel win, which it would make sense for him to say, look, I won a crown jewel. I put Monday Night Raw on the map by having the better champion by beating Cody Rhodes. That should allow me to sit back and wait for who's my next competitor instead of having to be a part of it all. So yeah, I mean, I think you kind of hate to say it, but he has definitely earned the right to sit back and wait to who challenges him. And if you are going to go into a title match at Survivor Series, that's a great way of doing it. And that's a number one contendership match at Saturday night's main event.
Absolutely. And we did see that fatal four-way with Seth Rollins at Clash in Paris, so I don't really want to revisit that match, but to get sort of that number one contendership out of the way, would you do it as a straight up or an elimination triple threat match to see who gets the win?
I would do a beautiful 6-pack challenge.
Okay.
Because then you could have Roman Reigns, you can have Jey Uso, you can have LA Knight, you could have CM Punk. You could even put in Jimmy Uso if you really wanted to, but then you can also put in a Braun Breaker, or you could put in a Rusev, or you could put in anybody else. Maybe it's a returning Gunther, somebody that, really can change it up, but it really would clarify kind of the next few months of Monday Night Raw and, where this championship picture kind of goes. Just in enough time before the Royal Rumble comes in, and that changes everything.
Right. And there's another name that I'm hearing, and I don't know where his injury status is at, that is potentially coming in, going to play a big factor from Survivor Series on again, and that is Austin Theory.
Yeah, and that's going to be the big question. If he comes back, does he go straight into something with Grayson Waller? We've seen a lot of Evolve videos kind of circulate on the Twitter machine or the X machine, whatever you want to call it, with Paul Heyman introducing him before an Evolve title fight that he had where he was champion. So they're trying to line up the two there. So there's a lot of Austin Theory speculation, just as much as there is an expectation that one Ilya Dragunov is coming back soon. So it's going to be very intriguing to see where they go, but I guess until they do, it's really just that. It's just speculation.
Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is no need to speculate here. We're going to go to the preview portion of the show, but before we go there, ladies and gentlemen, we could use your help.
A Turnbuckle affiliation program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, video games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today because your future is now, and we want you to tap in.
The Turnbuckle Studios store is open for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the merch and represent the best from the shows you watch on a weekly basis. Multiple styles to choose from with over 10 products available. Don't get left out and pick up all your favorites today. Find us at carlcarafel.redbubble.com. Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thursday we go TNA when we brace for Impact at 7:55 p.m. Eastern. Friday we secure all details as we answer the call for the SmackDown security detail at 8 p.m. Eastern. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. Eastern. On Sundays be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Eastern. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever wanted your break in podcasting, content creation, potential collaboration, or just help us out behind the scenes, turnbucklestudios.org is the place to go. You can get a link to our merch shop by clicking the shop button. Go to turnbucklestudios.org/join to send us your creds, and then we can sit down collectively and figure out where you fit in best. Meet the team: Chris Parrish, myself, Bubba Duke, Chris Best, and of course the Godfather Carl Carafel. Watch all of our latest weekly episodic shows. Turnbucklestudios.org. That is the place to be. And now on to the preview. Now, we don't have a whole lot to preview for this morning's Raw. We are going to get quite a bit of fallout from Crown Jewel. We do know 2 matches that are going to be happening here, and I'm just trying to see what I can find.
Yeah, it is the tag match in the Intercontinental.
Yes. Yes, and we have we do have Penta versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship here this morning. How do you see this one playing out?
Well, it's morning for us. It's not morning for the faithful of Perth, Australia. But this match is going to be very intriguing. And you wonder if I kind of have a feeling that what we're going to see is we're going to see the Judgment Day walk out from Dominic Mysterio the same way Dom walked out from him or from them. But there's another person that is not very much liking Penta's. There is a petition to ban the Destroyer. I have a feeling Grayson Waller and the New Day might play a part in this match. And as there is this ongoing fight maybe between the LWO or Rusev and Judgment Day and all that stuff maybe, and that all fades away, we could always see the New Day as part of this. But then this is the smart part of Dominic Mysterio. He also has the El Grande Americanos in his back pocket as well. So yes. Unless we see Penta really show more than just that zero fear, shows zero mistakes, and really has an answer for everything and the resiliency that needs to be there, I just don't see Dominic Mysterio leaving without that Intercontinental Championship. Would I like Penta to shock everyone and become champion? I think it would be interesting if it did.
I'm with you there. And yeah, there are so many different stories you can write. You've got Rusev. You've got Dragon Lee, who is going to challenge Dom for the AAA Mega Championship. Mm-hmm. Penta wants both of those titles just as badly as Dom does. You've got the Rusevs breathing down Dom's neck. And yes, I think you're going to see maybe Finn Balor and JD step aside if Rusev comes down to get his hands on Dom. I do see this match ending in a lot of shenanigans, and I think you're probably going to see a gauntlet match coming up at some point to see who is going to get that number one contender spot, potentially at Saturday night's main event. That's sort of where I'm booking towards, and I don't want to overbook it, but it would be a great, great night of champions, so to speak, on Saturday night's main event for that type of a scenario.
Yeah, and that's the thing, no, too. Like next week, we don't know what that's going to be. Then we also have, I believe, after today. There's 2 more Raws before that Saturday night's main event. So anything can really happen. And even 2 people I haven't said that do have issues with the New Day, and that's the War Raiders. So they could even play a part on helping out Penta, as they have told Penta they've had his back in the past too. So when we talked about being convoluted before, or when I at least did, this picture is very convoluted as well.
It 100% is. And I know we've just sort of seen a split due to a release over on SmackDown. Would this be a way to get a guy like Rey Fenix to Raw and reunite the Lucha Brothers?
Yeah, I think a good trade would actually benefit here. And I think Grayson Waller for Rey Fenix might be the best way, because this could be the way Grayson Waller, or even you trade Austin's Theory to SmackDown, and this is his ability to be his own person. I mean, something like that could very well work, but yeah, it'll be very interesting to kind of see how they do introduce Rey Fenix in. I know Penta and other people have said eventually that you will see them in WWE together, but there doesn't seem to be a rush to do so. So we may not even see Rey Fenix.
No, you're right. This is something that we may wait another year. We may wait another 5 years to see, because both of those men are thriving on their own. But I mean, for me, Penta has again reached, and although he's picked up wins the last couple of weeks, he's reached that enhancement talent with an intro. So he's there every week, but he's not really being booked as strongly as he should be for the pop that he is getting.
I think it's a lack of the story that really take it away. I think with WWE, it's very story heavy. So if you don't have something going on, it's easy to forget you, because right now in the landscape of WWE, almost everybody has something going on. And the people that are kind of just doing a match here, a match there, they kind of seem to be on the back burner. But as you did say, Penta does have that entrance. Penta does have that connection with the fan base. So I think this is something where, as I said before, this could be one of those shocks that, much like a Mick Foley winning the WWF title, Penta walking out as your Intercontinental Champion with everybody happy, but with all the villains stunned, might be just a good thing.
Right, 100%. And then we do have another huge women's tag match, as we are going to get Bayley and Lyra Valkyria taking on the Judgment Day's Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, and I have a feeling this very well could give us more clarity on the two minds of Bayley. I do think this could be the perfect match where Bayley does turn on Lyra. I think this is the perfect opportunity, and this allows Roxanne Perez to get a win on Lyra. Judgment Day does that. All right, we don't need to be here. We're just going to do this. We did our thing. We back off. We do the Homer Simpson in the bush thing. But getting a win, too, also puts them right back in contention for, a potential tag title shot, or even just getting them back on track. So, yeah, I if I was doing this, I might actually pull the trigger and have Bayley turn on Lyra in this match.
Okay. And I'm going to go with the other way, and it's still going to give you that clarity on Bayley, but it's something we've never really seen out of Lyra. And Lyra, who was showing all of that genuine concern for Bayley a month ago, to what we have seen and how Bayley has been with her around the last few weeks, could this be Lyra's turn to snap?
Yeah, but I don't think it would be as early as Raw.
Okay.
I think if Lyra snaps, we need more tease. We need more seeds planted. We've been getting a lot of those with Bailey, and we've getting a lot of expectations for Bailey. I think Lyra snapping might be a shot out of the dark. So she might snap for a good reason today
Right.
and maybe win the match. That could work. And then later we're like, oh, Lyra's able to snap too. It just so happens that when she snaps, Bailey's like a kid at a candy store happy.
Right. Well,
But
and-
it's just leading to the snap that Bailey doesn't want.
right. And that's where I'm going with this, is that bait and switch, because we're seeing all of the seeds planted for one. And then you twist the other, which again is going to provide that clarity for Bailey that, okay, now I need to really know, Becky took me out and she was one of the 4 horsewomen with me. Now, Lyra, who is somebody that I've gone to war with, we won and we're supposed to challenge for the tag team titles. And now all of this really doesn't fall on me. This is everybody around me manipulating the situation and playing head games with me.
Yeah, and it would be very intriguing to see, hey, Bailey's been confusing me because I don't know which Bailey I'm dealing with. Turn the tables on Bailey and give her 2 Lyras to the one she doesn't know who she's dealing with. So, I mean, really, like, could be mind games. It could be a different mentality, but it could be a good ingredient to an intriguing feud, too. So, I wouldn't hate either way because I think eventually this needs to turn from a tag team into a storyline and a feud. So,
Absolutely. We are going to probably also see, of course, Stephanie Vaquer as well as Seth Rollins, the 2 Crown Jewel winners. I would assume we're probably going to get the Vision to open the show just based off of what happened at Crown Jewel with Bronson, of course, beating Roman and then Seth winning the Crown Jewel Championship. Does this sort of put Braun Breaker and isolate him in the Vision from?
No, because I thought coming out of Crown Jewel, what we saw was when Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker are together, they are scary good because the one thing that nobody talks about is that it was the Usos and Roman Reigns, the original bloodline, 3 members, and they couldn't get the advantage on 2. The Vision did not play the man advantage. They were actually the victims of the man advantage game, but still came out strong. And they came out as the stronger act. So together, it just shows you how dangerous they are. And I think you still run with these 2 as a tag team. It's also going to be at, hey, when something is there for both men, they deal with it and then eventually always go back. It gives me a lot of that Batista Ric Flair tag team vibe from the Evolution days.
Okay. Stephanie Vaquer, do we see the next challenger now get lined up for her starting on Raw?
Yes. And who that could be is going to be very intriguing. I think it makes all the sense in the world for Rhea Ripley. But I'll say this, if she's back, why not Liv effing Morgan?
Absolutely. And I can see Liv returning fairly soon. I think that you've just got this new alliance in Rhea and Io. I like what you said earlier about starting to maybe get them as a tag team, because I do want to keep them away from the World Heavyweight title for a little while at least. Or let this thing with the Kabuki Warriors run its course and then maybe move one or both of them to SmackDown.
Yeah, and there also could be a possibility, like we talked earlier about a trade with Rey Fenix, but what happens if there's a trade on the women's side and maybe we see somebody like a Nia Jax move over to Raw, and she is someone that could be that next challenge for Stephanie Vaquer. It's completely different. It takes her out of her element. It's a different type of challenge. It's not somebody that's going to match her hold by hold like an Io Sky or even a Tiffany Stratton, but it's somebody that's going to make you fight. And if there's one thing Stephanie Vaquer knows how to do, it's fight. But does she know how to fight against somebody the size of a Nia Jax? I don't know. So, I mean, this could be a completely refreshed scene too. So it'll be very intriguing to see kind of how that goes, because I think you can go many different ways here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As well, I mean, we're going to, of course, expect CM Punk, Jay, LA Knight. I am going to put an interesting name out here for Raw, that somebody that we haven't seen in a while, and that is AJ Lee.
I don't know if AJ Lee and CM Punk made the trip to Australia. I haven't heard anything about that, so it'll be very interesting to see if they do appear. If there's a Raw where you can get away without them, this might be it.
Right. CM
So-
Punk did make the trip to Australia. I
Did?
have seen
Okay.
photos of him standing in the crowd watching Cena and AJ,
Oh, okay.
as he was standing with Nick Khan towards the back.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, then maybe it's just Punk and no AJ, and I feel like they're protecting kind of the AJ appearances here. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, as I said before, right? Everything is speculation until it happens. So, I just have a feeling we'll see AJ Lee when they return back to the United States.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for joining me, Chris. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you here. I know you've got to get ready for the Raw Patrol. I've got to get ready to hit the highway in an hour. It's always a pleasure. You know, you have an open invite on the show. Much appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, please always remember the world is better with you in it. From all of us here at the Locker Room Breakdown and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, to those of you out there, wherever you are, good night, good luck.
In the locker room, a guy you'll find loves bad hockey, teams can't deny. His best friend to shut the hand so true, loyal until his friend goes number two. During the heat of the game, it's clear he's a champ when all else disappears. Rally the team with a wink and a cheer. He's the leader that everyone fears. Quickly